Boom, we are alive, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, one CELR fetch, and a few others, but more importantly, hundreds and hundreds of percent of gains on some of the plays that the private bear den is making in just the last month alone against Bitcoin's price. There are many more of these coming, and just for a good measure, I want to go over the Wyckoff method. So for those of you that are unaware of this stuff, it is super valuable. So make sure you stick around for the whole episode to get as much of this information in as you can. So we're just going to dive in, and we're going to start by taking a look at Bitcoin's price. So here we go. We'd seen Bitcoin break out of this nice Wyckoff reaccumulation area, very standard. It was such a nice play to see. Once we figured out what it was, it became blaringly obvious. Now, I think we're going to see a little bit more momentum up to around $14,000, and then we're probably going to come back down and test around 9,000 to 10,500. We're not quite there yet, but on the daily here, Bitcoin is looking like it's getting a little bit weak on the test of the 9-day moving average here. So we could see a test of the 21-day moving average around 11,000, which is pretty, could be pretty standard. Although this back check right now around 11,500, it could just be a very simple move that puts us. Here you go. You can see we're testing the 50 moving average on the 4-hour here, right here. This is a pretty important part. We could dip down again around to this support area around 11,000, but I do believe we're going to go up to test around 13,500, 14,000. And guys, this stuff becomes very obvious for those of you that want to get into trading and investing full time. It's worth spending the $50 on TradingView essentially. So there's a VPVR profile here where you can see this nice thin red line that comes out across. So this is where most of the buying support is right now. There's a lot of buys down here between 9,200 and 9,900 that are still there. This is where the majority of our support is. And as you can see here, this next tough of where we start to hit resistance starts around 13,500 and moves up to around 14,500. So I do suspect we're going to wick up to around 14,500 with most of the volume being around 13.9, and we'll probably see a very quick redistribution phase back to around anywhere between 9,000 or 10,000, 11,000. It's pretty confident. But this in my mind is really going to signal to a lot of the big players that this is the start of a new bull market, and then we're just getting started. So one of the things I wanted to take a look at was for all the private bear members. So we posted this on July 18th with our entries here at 53 Satoshis for CELR. And again, guys, this is the Wyckoff accumulation method. This stuff is so powerful. If you don't know it yet, join our private group. If not, it's free everywhere on the internet. You can do your own due diligence and your own research, but we saw a beautiful spring out of the bottom of D. Once we broke above the main area of this POC line, again, part of our VPVR and the professional trading view, and then the break out of the box. Look at this. Boom, almost over 100% in CELR in less than 25 days. And this is not the only one that's following these standards. So right now I'm going to keep it focused on a very few specific tokens in our investment portfolio because of my interest in them. So one is another one of these that fits within this range. Here we saw a break above the VPVR line at 65. Our entries were right here, and just like that, around 50% off the target range so far, and we're just getting started. So right now, what we're witnessing is a lot of people getting shook out of their old positions while Bitcoin does its thing. Now that we're seeing that these are the final tests of the LPS and the SOS area for these tokens, we're going to see multiple 100% gains in the near future while everyone else gets shaken out, right? A lot of people don't have what the composite man has, which is an infinite amount of time and an infinite amount of money to make these plays. So I'm going to use Matic as a beautiful point right here. So for those of you that are in the private bear den, you will know that yesterday we took an entry into Matic right at the bottom of this final LPS test here, which is around 183 to 190 where I took my positions. We very, very quickly jumped up outside of that around 10%. We're probably going to back check the 21 and the 9-day moving averages here around 192 Satoshis, but this is very, very quickly going to move to the top of the box. And again, this is what's going to be interesting, is that we're going to shake all the players out here. So all the weak hands that don't know what they're doing in trading, they've been holding Matic since way back here. They're just happy to get like any type of profit versus Bitcoin before they put it all into band or something stupid like most rookie traders and investors do. They just chase the hype cycles. These bottom entries, these final LPS tests here in phase D are the fucking gold mine for winning. Now I want to give a hats off to our private bear members again, who saw the exact same thing come out of ontology here, which now is producing our final right shoulder of ontology after the breakout of around 607. Again, like a Q number here, we can look at BAT too. BAT hasn't closed above the volume profile POC line yet, so I'm a little hesitant to play BAT. I do think we could come and recheck down a little lower here, so I haven't taken an entry in BAT, but as soon as we close above this VPVR line at 2300 on the daily, we're looking for that same bullish move to the top of the box, and again, breakouts. See, so what's nice is there's going to be a lot of multiple 100% gains here. If you know what to look for, you can take your entries, you be patient. Now, one of the things I've come to the conclusion of is, first off, always use a stop loss, use it correctly, take profits. Number two, and then third, always leave some ride. 5 years ago, if you would have had $1,000 in Digibyte, it would now be worth around $960,000, right? 5 years ago, if you had an entry in XRP, it'd probably be worth close to $1 million too. So at the end of the day, if you have $1,000 riding on all of these tokens, you've increased your chances of success because of your exposure to what we like to call the black swan and serendipitous positive nature effect of volatile exposures. So I know that I don't want to own something like Amazon because of the hidden risk, whereas here we know what the risks are. These could go to nothing, but on the upside for Digibyte right now, from where we're at this, it looks like a beautiful test of the top of the box. We might come down to test one more time because it's where the most buying support is at 204. We might kind of back check 226, but look at the enormous amount of upside potential once we get out of this range. There's very little holding us back. We're going to see probably another 100-200% run out of Digibyte off the initial 300% run that we already got. Right, guys? So this is a game about numbers, averages, and learning how to play the way the big boys play. Once you see it, it's pretty easy. It just takes time. Keep investing, keep playing your game well, and the Wyckoff analysis will bring you home so much in terms of financial rewards. Now again, none of this is financial advice. I want all of you guys to do your own due diligence. Don't trust a goddamn thing I say. If you want to join the private bear den, you can join the links below. There's no risk right now, so you can join, pay the month, and if you don't like it at any point, you can cancel and I will give you a refund, because if you can't get value out of the community, it has nothing to do with us. It's because you either don't have enough time or because you don't have enough capital. So if you have enough time and enough capital, this is probably one of the easiest ways to turn $1,000 into $1 million over the next 5 years. It's just by finding multiple entries into where the big boys are playing and just letting them play their game, taking the profits that you can afford to take early on in the spectrum and letting everything else ride for the next 5 to 10 years. Anyways, I'm going to keep it pretty simple. Leave all of your thoughts and your questions down below. I want to take a quick look again with Digibyte here. Again, I suspect we're going to see big breakouts. Same with ontology. Again, just maybe guys just join the private bear den so I don't have to go over all of this, but we're going to start doing daily shows, and we're going to start doing more dives into each particular trade that we make. So I'm working on hiring someone to help do more fundamental research and also book podcasts with each of the CEOs of these companies. So for instance, if you happen to be the friend of the CEO or of any of these companies, like Algorand, for instance, and you think, I would love to have them on the show so we can ask those questions again. And we're just really going to focus on research and development in the fintech space. And then on the weekends, we'll provide all of the fun videos where I go mushroom hunting or yoga or play music, whatever it happens to be. So we'll keep the channel very eclectic. But from now on, we're just going to specifically focus on the research arm of all of the new things that are coming out in this sector, because we're so early on still. Even me, I forgot after 2017, all that hype. We're in one of the most beautiful parts a market can be in right now, which is we're going to see multiple explosions if Bitcoin continues to rise up, right? Everything could come ruin the party. We could get hit by an asteroid tomorrow, but that's the point of investing small amounts and things that we know are volatile. So $1,000 might turn into $1 million, right? So don't bet the house on these things. You want to acquire a bunch of them so you can increase the chances of that serendipitous effect, right? So just like we're seeing in Matic right now, this beautiful final LPS test, this might be the lowest price you see Matic, aside from if we come back and test down here at around 200, right? So we're still following this ascending channel. This is why it takes, like, you need to be pretty good at technical analysis to wait a year of accumulation, to look for these LPS final tests, get in right at the box at the bottom of POC, of your POC or VPVR line here. This took us a year to get to the point where we can see all these beautiful trades formulating now, right? So remember, the comp man or the whale has infinite time and infinite money, and all he's been doing is accumulating Matic at the bottom here, and just keep pushing that lower high each time. Boom, 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 and we're going to see these big breakouts, just much like we saw in Fetch here, where we're already, here's a perfect example where we got in at Fetch right at the bottom of phase C. I'll bring this up. So this is one of the private Bear Den entries we made back in early June. These are all pre-recorded too. You can follow us in TradingView. It's not like I just made this up. We're at a 220% gain in 66 days against Bitcoin's price. And again, you can see all these. I record all of them. So any of the mistakes I make, they're there for the picking, guys. Like, you can go in and you can see every time I've made a mistake and every time we've gotten it right. And so far, our trade average right now is a hell of a lot better at getting it right than it is at getting it wrong. So use your stop loss, take your profits. But here we go. We had our first profit point at 370 Satoshis, and then look at this, out of the screen. This is why I always suggest letting some ride. So we took our first profits here, we let everything else ride, and now everything else is up 200%. So, right, we took out most of our initial early investment and then let everything ride. And this is why you got to play this in a multiple part sequence. Take the profit out so the risk is all gone, and then let everything else ride, because a year or two, 5 years from now, Fetch might be at the point where $1,000 is now worth over $1 million. Anyways, this is Tio with the Arcane Bear. I'm so grateful for all of your guys' support. We have such a strong group of people in the Trading Den. Please join it, because you have no risk right now, and we are going to be raising our price in 2020 to about $100 a month for this, especially as we start to produce more high-end publications and deep dives into everything that's going on. So get in early, because you'll get grandfathered into that price. You can keep the lower price for the rest of the time that you're a member, but we're going to be raising this because we're going to also be diving into a lot more deeper production and deep dives, because we've got probably another 10 years of beautiful entries for some of these things and these black swans ahead of us. So I want to make sure that we fill out and focus so we can provide the most value in this sector for all of you, the Bear family. Join us in the links below. You can join our free newsletter as well, whatever happens to be most comfortable for you guys. Also, when you join, it really helps support us, because as soon as we get to X amount of members more, maybe another 50 private members signed up, I'm going to hire a full-time writer to do the deep dives so that we can consistently publish and bring on new podcast guests. Like, what's Troy? If you happen to be friends with the CEO of Troy, let's get them on the show. I want to get as many tokens on the show for a once a week kind of deep dive. So if you guys are friends with that, we'll have Matic on again soon, and we'll just keep going down that pattern of focus of research into the basically black swan adventure capital space. I'm so grateful. I'm so excited for all of the Bear family that are in there. I've been watching so many of you guys kill it, make hundreds. I've seen some of you guys double or triple your money in just a short month or two. So I'm so proud to see that you're taking what you're learning, executing, and coming out ahead. That's what this whole point is. And I know because of that, we've like a lot of you guys are lifetime members now, so we might actually even open up the option. Let me know actually in the comments below, or if you're already a member, if I opened up a lifetime subscription where you could just pay for the rest of the lifetime, maybe at like 10 times the price it is now or something, like a 10-year, if you want to, and then that way we can try to move forward more quickly with hiring someone in terms of the production side of things for doing these deep dives. So if there are any of you that are interested in paying for like a lifetime subscription up front, so we can upfront hire someone to do the deep dives sooner rather than later, let me know, and we'll just basically sell you a lifetime subscription to the Arcane Bear, and then we'll get someone hired right away. So if there's something you're interested in, let me know. If not, it doesn't really matter. We're well on our way, and we're going to start producing those anyways. So give us a thumbs up, leave us comments, whatever you want to do. I'm so grateful for the people that really, really support us and see the value that we bring to the table. It makes such a big difference. knowing that we can all work together, collaborate. Like I see, it's so inspiring to see so many people learn how to make good investments, make those trades, profit, and then teach other people in the bear den. Like, it's not just me. There's so many other great trades out there in a day-to-day basis, and everyone working together brings so much to the table. So thank you guys so much for that. It inspires me to see how powerful the Arcane Bear community is. So we're gonna keep growing it, and we'll stop the video there. Thank you guys all for joining us, and we'll see you again on the next episode.